Well, 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 well. Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. I just crossed 5,000 subscribers. In fact, I hope that's still true. I was just about to do my May the 4th video for Star Wars, and I just thought I'm on 5,000, but what if I dip below? I should wait. Let's do the Star Wars video and then give it a couple of days. And now I'm, as of this recording, 5,002. So I'm gonna make this my 5,000 subscriber video. Wow. Well, it took a decade, and I see why to a degree. There are a lot of experts in the field about, like, what do you do with YouTube? Do you customize? Do you zero in? Do you focus on one topic only? Do you just make it about yourself and the people will come no matter what? Do you try to capture magic in a bottle? How do you get a lot of subscribers? And I think the first answer is actually correct. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the map. I've had lots of views. I'm not complaining about the views that I get. But as far as subscribers are concerned, experts will say, dude, you don't have a very focused channel. You're doing food stuff and Atari stuff and Star Wars stuff and VR stuff. Nobody knows whether or not to subscribe to you. And it's true. It's true. I've actually watched compatriots of mine, people who had less subscribers than me years ago, skyrocket through the ceiling. And I've been like, oh, how come it happened for you guys and it didn't happen for me? But admittedly, in watching the content that those channels are handling, you really gotta love that one topic, because really, if you stray outside of that, nobody's gonna watch you, or it's bad for the algorithm. Case in point. Now, this guy always had way more subscribers than me, but Kramer over at Living Anachronism, he really made me sad one day, of all things. He loves doing his D&D stuff and dressing up and, you know, manufacturing shields and all this kind of stuff. He really is into the fantasy adventurer life. And one of the things he tried years ago was, I think he called it Adventure Eats or something, where he cooked up little meals that would be like the kind of thing that an adventurer would take with him down into the dungeon. And then he was doing another video where he talked about how he makes a typical, how he edits one particular shot with him running around in the forest. And in a passing comment he said, yeah, kind of like the Adventuring Eats that I did, but I had to actually stop making that because it was killing me in the algorithm, which is too bad. And I thought, oh no, that's so sad. If you want to do D&D food stuff, you shouldn't feel like a slave to the algorithm. Just do what you want to do. But, you know, I think the proof is in the pudding. It's taken me a decade to reach 5,000 subscribers. And I've watched people like Kramer and various others, people who had, as I say, less subscribers than me years ago, in the 20,000 range now. And I'm just like, okay, they know what they're doing. I don't. But you know what? I don't care. It's not really about subscribers with an asterisk. I did do a video years ago, do subscribers even matter? And I think it's true, as long as you're doing what you love, which I am, the people will sense that and will enjoy the content if you're good at it. And I've had lots of really kind comments from lots of people. Love your channel, man. Stuff is great. And I am very appreciative. And I'm glad that you've finally all reached a 5,000 milestone for me. This is incredible. I remember being at 400 subscribers and thinking, oh, I made it. So, not complaining about the views or the audience that watches. That's fantastic. And I'm not even complaining, really. But in the whole do subscribers matter topic, I will say, and I said this before in my old video, no, they don't matter as long as you're doing what you like. And if you get, never forget this, Lawn Boys Post 1975 said it perfectly years ago. One view, one subscriber is a miracle. That means somebody out there in the world has taken the time to watch what you're blathering on about, or even chosen to subscribe to you. Thank you, Dave. I have taken that to heart. That is very true. The do subscribers matter thing, though, I think the only way in which that's sort of a factor is I don't know, let's say you do videos about the Beatles, or about quilting, or about any number of topics. And somebody who was actually in that, let's say some record producer who actually did the Beatles stuff once, you put out a video on that topic and this guy stumbles across it. Hey, have you seen what this guy said about 1973 filming, whatever? And this guy watches and he's like, that's incredibly either insightful or incredibly wrong. And then they go, oh, but he's only got 1,000 subscribers. So, yeah. In that way, having subscribers helps. If not for an ego thing, it at least makes you feel more legitimate on the platform. I feel legitimate. I'm very happy. I'm really thrilled to have reached 5,000 subscribers. So thank you all. I wonder if another YouTuber who has actually vanished off the scene, Rich over at Review Tech USA, years ago, made a comment on something that I thought, that's interesting. It may no longer be true, but if it is true, I am now poised to be able to verify it. He said, several years ago, when you reach 5,000 subscribers, Google kind of puts you up into another bracket of YouTube algorithm stuff, and your content tends to get pushed out into further reaches, and you start to grow a little faster. So I'm like, okay, I'm now at that mark. Let's see what happens. Now that I'm at 5,000, do my videos get a little more push around? Do I start to gain a little more momentum a little faster? I'm very curious to find out. I'll be watching, I'll be praying, fingers crossed, but you know what? If I then drop below 5,000 and this video is moot, well, I don't care. I do this because I like it. And the topics that I cover are just what I want to cover. In a way, I'm kind of glad because some of the stuff I've discussed, like Star Frontiers, for example, not too many. There are a lot of Star Frontiers related channels, but it's not a big topic. And I find it funny anytime I'm looking up something, I'm about to do a video, I want to do a quick Google search of something to do with Star Frontiers. Guess whose ugly mug keeps showing up in the results? It's me. I'm like the Star Frontiers guy. I mean, I'm not being egotistical there. I'm just saying that, like, that is very rewarding to me. Something I was a fan of to now be kind of seen anytime. If you do a search for Star Frontiers, you're bound to see me in my shirt. So that's pretty cool. So I like that. Very happy with that. And I'm going to stick with what I want to talk about. So there. Now, I thought for this 5,000 subscriber special, I would do something special and unique, and I did it when I crossed 1,000 subscribers. I talked about what was the very first video game I ever played. So that I just thought this would be a good reason to, mark this moment. And I chose a topic that my sister actually pointed out. She was looking at my entire history of all these videos. She was just like, you got like 1,000 videos, man. My God, how do you have the time, etc. And she mysteriously stumbled across my very first video just to see, like, do you do a, hi there, I'm Kevin, and I really like Atari and Star Wars and all these other things. You didn't do that. Your first video is very random and silly. It's actually about this. A game on the Nintendo 3DS called SpeedX. Had to look it up. It's by Game Lion. Came out years ago, in fact over a decade ago, because that's what I did my video about. I really like the 3DS. I should do more 3DS videos now that I think about it. Maybe I'll start showing a few of these, obviously with the slider off so you don't get the 3D effect. But yeah, the 3DS I really enjoyed, and SpeedX is a very, simple, you're going down a tunnel, you're dodging boxes type of thing. I talked about it in my very first video. But my sister was saying, well, why did you do something so random and dumb? Why is your first video so lame? And I thought, because I wanted to try out a few things. First of all, I just wanted to see, what's it like to make a YouTube video? I'd watched people for years, but what's it like to actually make one? And I discovered in making my SpeedX video that the camera I was using at the time stops recording after 10 minutes. I was sitting there talking about, oh, this is so much fun, and wow, look at me go. And then I was like, wait a minute, why is the camera stopped? And then I tried it again, and the camera stopped again at the 10-minute mark. I was like, oh, I need a different camera, or I need to talk faster. So I did. That's the kind of thing that's worthwhile investigating and trying out. Also, for the first dozen or two videos that I did, I never showed my face. And that was not, oh, I'm too beautiful, don't look at me type of thing or anything like that. I just thought, you know, putting your face up on YouTube is like, A, prone to get comments, but also B, I don't necessarily want, I don't know that I'm going to love this hobby that much, so I don't know that I want to start off blasting who I am into the Google algorithm social media sphere unnecessarily. It took a while for me to actually show my face, and I have done so ever since, and I'm not too proud, and that's fine. You know, I'm perfectly happy with my face being out on YouTube and out on the internet now. But I just thought, you know, for the first video, let's make it something very small scale. I don't need to introduce myself. And we'll just do something where you don't see my face for a while. Just so that I've got my rhythm and figure out if this is even going to stick. Because I don't know. I could get tired of this after 6 episodes. In fact, I've mentioned many times, why is it called Down the Rabbit Hole? Originally, it was going to be another nail in the coffin because I just thought, I've got maybe 20 video ideas and that's it. So again, I thought to myself, right, I'm going to make my first video very small scale and low key and easy. And I want it to be about video games because that is the majority of my passion, my hobby. And I thought, I want to do something not a lot of people are talking about. And the WiiWare, the 3DSware, was kind of new. This was a really fun experience for me as a game. And I thought, right, I'm going to do a video about this game on the 3DS just to try out what's it like to record, what hiccups am I going to run into, and I was very pleased with that. So that's why my first video is really lame. And if you look at my early episodes, they're like, how to get a dynamic theme on a PlayStation 3? What? Who cares? Like, I was just seeing how the edges are of all of this before I really leapt into the making the videos properly full time. So I thought I would answer that for my sister. In fact, I want to give my sister a shout out because she has recently started a YouTube channel herself. It's called From the Footnotes, and it's about books. She does little short book reviews. Also, sometimes outside, if a book has also been made into a TV show or something on Netflix or streaming or what have you, she does some comparisons. It would really mean a lot to me if you have a passion for literature. You know, maybe check out her channel, maybe throw a subscription her way. That would mean a lot to me. It would be very much appreciated. So yes, check out my sister's videos From the Footnotes. I'll put a link down below as well. And I'm not playing favoritism. My brother is also dabbling with the notion of doing YouTube videos, and once he's got that up and running, I'll maybe give him a shout out as well. I want to see how does the production go, because I've done shout outs in the past and then that person has promptly disappeared off YouTube, and I thought, well, I'm obviously a curse, so I'm going to hold my reservation. But definitely check out From the Footnotes with my sister, Christine. Hope you like it. And yes, thank you very much, everybody, for giving me 5,000 subscribers. I'm really looking forward to another decade and maybe another 5,000 subscribers if we can get that. Again, according to Richard Review Tech, I might be growing faster. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Until then, I'll say goodbye for now, so until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.